compromise the country into small components, we will be forgotten by the world. Those are the words of the former President Goodluck Jonathan when he spoke to journalists at the foyer of the presidential villa after meeting with his successor. Dr. Jonathan's views come on the heels of attacks in the Niger Delta that threatens the unity of the country. The militants are also believed to have spread westward to Ogun State, where air bombardment by government forces aims to disarm and stop bunkering activities. The government says they have had a failed day. Will this continue, though? What if the government launches an offensive in the Niger Delta as it did in Arepo, Ogun State? Will the government succeed in defeating the Niger Delta Avengers and other militant groups to secure peace and economic growth? Data feeds still coming through. The one place simultaneously on all our social media platforms, channelstv.com, youtube.com/channelsweb. Be part of the show as well. Tweet at Gimba Umar CTV and use the hashtag State of the Nation. Air your thoughts on the subject. It's prime time in Lagos, and this is State of the Nation. Of the world, I am Gimba Umar. We begin with the former President Goodluck Jonathan's visit to his successor. He has been engaged with international assignments as AU ambassador. In a routine visit, he said, he came to President Muhammadu Buhari to report to the Commander-in-Chief on his work within and outside the continent. Of equal importance, though, is his views about the unity of the country, which he says must not be compromised by interest, literally speaking, that is. Professor Chris Nwobodo, a social and political commentator, joins me to look at the many sides of this issue from the former president, which he raised when he met with his successor. I want to thank you so much indeed for coming on State of the Nation. Also, from our Abuja studio is Garba Ibrahim, a social and political commentator. He joins me on State of the Nation as well. You two can be part of the show, of course. Use the hashtag State of the Nation and tweet at Gimba Umar CTV. Gentlemen, I want to thank you so much indeed for coming on the show.
My pleasure to be here.
Now, let's begin by looking at some of the things that the former President Goodluck Jonathan said. Let's take a very quick listen to his comments on the unity of this country.
United Nigeria. And I always emphasize that Nigeria is great. It's not because of oil. So many countries produce more oil than Nigeria, but nobody noticed them. We are great because of our size, the human resources we have, the diversity we have. So if we balkanize the country into small components, we'll all be forgotten by the world. You see that not just about me, but all the traditional rulers, elders, and opinion leaders of the ethnic nationalities we've been in touch to see that peace reigns in the country. There is no without peace there can be without peace you can never have a development anywhere in the world. So we are all working collectively to see that these issues are resolved.
Nigeria's former President Goodluck Jonathan, very passionate indeed about the future of this country. Let's begin with you, Professor Chris. What is your view to the former President's statement concerning the unity of this country?
I am on all fours with former President Goodluck Jonathan as to the importance of our unity. He left us with a quotable quote there that our unity, our strength is not just about oil, but about our size and our human capital. And I do sincerely think that as we discuss our country, fundamentally, I believe that beyond the calls for restructuring of our country, because when people misunderstand, a call for restructuring, not necessarily a call for disintegration. And so I am totally in support of what past president said. And I think that for that statement to have come from him, it is indeed profound, because he hails from the region where certain elements are threatening our nationhood, are threatening our togetherness. You know about the Niger Delta Avengers and then the Adakaboro, Avengers, and all sorts of elements are threatening our country. And so I think that profoundly, for him to have been the one to say that we need our togetherness, we need our unity, I believe that it is profoundly salutary. And I believe that the dialogue, the Georgia, should move a step ahead, a step further than just that. Because the only thing I have a reservation to was that when he talked about the reach outs in the Niger Delta, he talked about Ijaw leaders and Ijaw nationalities. I think he should have broadened it to other tribes and ethnic nationalities in the Niger Delta.
We'll get to that very point. But first of all, let's cross over to Abuja studios where Garba Ibrahim is standing by. Garba, thank you so much indeed. What do you suppose will be forgotten? He says, the former president said that Nigeria will be forgotten by the international community if there has to be chaos in this country. What are your views?
Yeah, thank you, Gimba, for having me this evening. Good evening, Nigerians. I think from that statement, there's a silent message there for Nigerians, particularly those that are actually demonstrating their own kind of frustration by a way of trying to take advantage of what they have within the region, meaning there has been a lot of agitation where you can understand those from the Niger Delta are saying we are the golden, we are the camel that which this country is surviving on. And to be honest to you, we blame the politicians, particularly even Goodluck Jonathan should have done more than what he's supposed to be doing, or he is doing right now. Sincerely speaking, Nigerians need to understand that our politicians are the issues of this country. But what I am appealing to the younger generation to understand, Goodluck Jonathan has served his 4 years and he's gone, he has moved on. We can see he's coming back to the presidency to even inform the president that he has a new assignment to go on to on behalf or that will affect the image of the country. So, but the younger generation are there fighting. They are insisting that we want a country that is different from Nigeria. If these same politicians that we thought were fighting on their behalf, they have moved on. Who are we to be deceiving ourselves?
But
that we are still
trying
to say we need our own separate countries. No, it's wrong. He made a clear statement. It is true. If Nigeria is divided today, I can assure you, Gimba, no country would think of us.
Do you suppose, though, that the fears of the former president, Goodluck Jonathan, are just?
Yeah, to some extent, he understands the implication of what is going on there because he has more information than you and I here. Why am I saying this? He's a stakeholder, he's a leader, he's an elder statesman at this position. So there is no single information that has to do with the level of threat or level of disturbance that President Goodluck Jonathan is not aware of. So for him to speak in this manner, it means that it is really alarming. And it is very important for Nigerians, particularly the leaders, political leaders, to understand the implication and the length at which this thing has gone deep. Because if it has gone to a level whereby our forces, military forces, are even bombarding some part of the country, particularly from that angle of Niger Delta, Gimba, I'm telling you, is terrible. Definitely we need to do more than what we're doing now. Remember what happened in the Northeast. Lots and lots of souls killed, innocent souls. Some innocent citizens were caught in the crossfire. Tell me, in the Niger Delta now, how many citizens do we know do not have anything, do not share even the ideology of the Avengers? But I can tell you, this might end up being the victims. So will this help the economy? Will it help the country? How?
How then do you suppose that the government should approach this offensive that it plans?
Our politicians are
How do you suppose the government should approach this offensive that it plans in the Niger Delta?
I believe while the offensive is going on, the military offensive is going on, there is also some form of political machineries on the ground to make sure that this issue is being resolved. But I think it is better for the political machineries to be ahead of the military offensive. Why am I saying this? We might actually refuse to listen to some individuals within the community, some individuals within the leadership of most especially the younger generations there. They may have solutions to this. But you find out that even to get to meet...
Garba Ibrahim, I want to thank you so much indeed. I know that you've had quite a lot of things to do today, very tight schedule you're running. I want to thank you so much indeed for coming to spare your time on State of the Nation. We're going to have some more looking at the former president's visit right here on State of the Nation. That's when we return. Join us again.